Now we'll learn how to do basic input and output in Python. Of course, we have been seeing some basic printf commands for a while, basic print commands for a while, but let me just go over it very quickly. So if you just say print with your parenthesis, and whatever you say here will be printed, as you can easily understand. If there is a variable a which is assigned a value of 10, and if you say print the value of a is comma separated by a, it will print you 10. Or the other way to do it is you can just say, since this is a string, right? This is a string, right? You can use the plus sign, the plus operator, and convert your a into a string. This converts your a into a string, and then you can concatenate this string with this new string, or you can join these two strings. Concatenation is nothing but simply joining one string after the other string, right? Even this works. Actually, in earlier versions of Python, so what we're using right now is Python 3. So what used to do is, if I just said print a without any parentheses, it used to work. It used to work very well in previous versions of Python, like Python 2.6 and 2.7. It no more works. So if you type something like this and if it's not working, probably you should just go to the top right of your IPython notebook and check out what you're running. So we are using Python 3 here, as it's clearly explicitly mentioned here. If you're using some other version of Python, like 2.6 or something, then a command like this might just simply work. But from Python 3 onwards, you need to place your small brackets or parentheses around your print statement. So that's one major difference between Python 2 and Python 3. And since people like me who have been used to Python for a long time, keep doing these simple mistakes, because we're used to a syntax like this. Having said that, now let's see how to format our output, right? Because this is very important. This is like your printf, right? In printf, what do? We can say what we want, and we can just give the parameters that we want to print here. So what is the equivalent of printf, right? So let's say you might have two variables, a equals to 10 and b equals to 20. Remember, this is a one-line assignment. We just saw assignments a while ago, right? So I'm assigning 10 to a and 20 to b, and in a single line I'm doing two statements, right? So having assigned these two values, now let's assume I want to print the value of a is with some value here, the value of b is this. So if I just put curly braces here, and I can say, so this is a string, right? This is a string, and string has a function called format. Dot format. I could just say, by doing this, what happens is my a goes here and my b goes here, right? So what you get is the value of a is 10, the value of and b is 20, as you would expect. So format is the important function here that we use for formatting output. Seems so natural, right? The next thing is, let's do it slightly differently. If I want to say the value of b is, so here if you notice, as compared to here I've just left my my curly braces empty. Here I'm giving values here. Here I'm giving a value of 1, I'm giving a value of 0. So whatever is inside your format, the parameters of your format, this has an index of 0 and this has an index of 1. So since I'm saying the value of b is, and within braces I'm putting 1 here, so the value that is there in b, which is 20, gets placed here, and the value of a, which is 10 here, as per this statement, gets put here, right? So it's not necessary that I always need to have my variables that I pass to this function, right, in the same order. I can just give it indexes. The third very interesting way, which is fun to use, is something like this. Let me just show you. Okay, so here I'm saying print hello, and in my curly braces, I'm not giving an index like this. I'm not giving 0 or 1. I'm actually putting a name. So I'm putting a variable name called name here, and again, this is another parameter. So in my format string, I can actually give things like this. I can say name equals to Satish. So then what happens is Satish gets placed here, and my greeting equals to good morning, and this gets placed here, right? You can think of them as key values, right? If I mean, bluntly thinking of it. So this is the key that I'm using, and Satish is the value, and the value gets placed at the key, right? So this is a very nice and very useful form of formatting strings, which is fairly unique to Python. I think there are very few languages which let you do this. Now, the other thing here is we can combine various types of arguments. So this is again another fun part. So if I say the story of, within braces I put 0. What does 0 mean here? 0 means bill. because that's the first parameter, right? Comma, curly braces 1. What is the first parameter here? It is Manfred, right? And I'm giving a string here. I'm giving a keyword argument, right? So other here equals to Greg. So Greg will be put here. Right? So I can mix and match these various options that I have here while formatting my output. Now let's look at input. Okay, we have understood how to format our output. We've understood about simple print command. Here is a fun part. I think I'll have to run this. So let me quickly run this. And what you get here is a box. It says enter a number. Suppose if I say 1, 2, 3, 4 and enter, okay, voila, it just prints my number. So that's what the code is, right? So the input function in Python gives you the text box that we just saw, where you can enter some value and we can assign that value that we entered to a variable called num, or to any variable basically. In this case, we've assigned it to num. Right? This is the basics of a very basic input output in Python.